You ever have a chocolate bar melt in your pocket? Most of us would probably sigh and try to rescue some of the chocolate from the wrapper. But in the mid 1940s, one engineer working with high frequency radar equipment had a very different reaction. He was experimenting with powerful wave producing tubes, the same kind that they were used to detect aircraft, radar, when his chocolate bar quietly turned into a mushy pile of melted chocolate in his pocket. And keep in mind, safety standards back in the 1940s weren't exactly refined. Imagine running a microwave with the door removed and casually standing beside it. That's essentially what early radar engineers were doing. Thankfully, in this particular case, curiosity beat courage, not the other way around. So instead of being annoyed with his melted chocolate, he got curious. Why did that happen, he said. And the next day he brought in popcorn kernels, placed them near the device, and pop, pop, pop. The kernels flew around the lab like tiny fireworks. And then he tried an egg on a platter, placed it next to the beam, stepped back, and boom! The egg exploded everywhere, including on a colleague who stood a little too close to the plate. That's when it clicked. These invisible rays didn't just detect airplanes, they could cook food. And fast. But here's the part most people forget. What started with melted chocolate didn't go straight to the home kitchens. The first microwave was the size of a refrigerator, weighed more than a grand piano, and cost as much as a new car. But, and here's what it looked like. The year was 1947. It was a 6-foot tall, water-cooled industrial machine that suited a restaurant more than a cozy bungalow. So, no one was making microwave popcorn at home quite yet. Still, this breakthrough didn't come from a grand plan. It came from a tiny accident, a mess, a moment of curiosity, and a willingness to follow a question instead of brushing it off. And from that melted candy bar and a few flying kernels, we eventually got the microwave. You know, that little kitchen magician that reheats coffee and rescues leftovers in a matter of seconds. All because one person didn't shrug and say, "Oh well." He leaned in and thought, "Huh, that's odd."